It's getting crazy out here, y'all. Stay focused. Let's go, KD. Take a look around you. You can find your way, babe. Yeah, take a look around you. You can find your way, babe.
Yeah, I ain't talk is talk, and move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change the way. Got things to do, I done pay my dues. But where was you? Nigga, where was you? I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Hey, you the one that say that. You and me go way back. When this whole thing over, I'ma send my invoice payday. You don't wanna say that. You don't want this payback. I keep my composure, this my kingdom, nigga, stay back. We had a couple of moments. You had a choice, nigga, own it. Your real colors, they showing. I'm real, nigga, I'm focused. When I come around, I'm fly with it. Stay moving, do buy with it. Do something, just vibe with it. Same truth and we die with it. I see it like it's an obstacle. I never sit on the fence. Nothing to me is impossible. Music of me to the end. Most of the shit is illogical. All of y'all niggas depend on what they pretend. Just think with your head, stop looking at trends. You wearing your eyes like it's topical.
Clearly now, the pain is gone, the fame is on, and they play my songs. Yeah, it's real. Yeah, it's real.
Yeah, I ain't talk is talk, and move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change the way. Got things to do, I done pay my dues. But where was you? Nigga, where was you? I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. New era, I got y'all. Real game, we pop off, no knockoffs. Open eyes, we watch out. Mobilize, won't cop out. COVID-19 cops out, don't flop now. Open skies, we fly now. New agenda, they try now. Most y'all getting real scared of the headlines, we find out. End game getting real near. If you don't know, you behind now. Behind the times, government hide behind the lines. Most brands trying to monetize. All of us have to stay inside, don't socialize. Talk is talk, and move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change the way. Got things to do, I done pay my dues. But where was you? Nigga, where was you? I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe.
You already know this is about to be stupid.
How about the range? I'm feeling strange. I might be crazy. None of y'all phase me. I took a sip, I'm not acting my age. I took a trip, now they got me on stage. How about the range? How about the range? Whoa, this a new range, new page. Got me in a new country, new stage. I ain't signed no deal, I'm too paid. I do not have chill, I'm too crazy. I do not take L's, I'm too Brady. I might be frosted, I'm not flaky. Don't know what it cost me, it's all gravy. Turn on that faucet and just pay me. Whoa, we gon' get it, bring it back. Maybe Donald is a Mac. Couple bottles, empty glass. New machine, I'm sending facts. Bump the headline, check the facts. I'm not a gangster, but I'm a gorilla. Hop on the drums when I'm feeling J Dilla. Come get your lady, cause I'm a just stiller.
How about the range? Whoa. Hey, yeah, I'm feeling strange. Whoa.
How about the range? I'm feeling strange. I might be crazy. None of y'all phase me. I took a sip, I'm not acting my age. I took a trip, now they got me on stage. How about the range? How about the range? Whoa. There's no comparison, black in America, a little too arrogant. I just embarrass y'all niggas irrelevant. I shouldn't have mentioned it, that's royal etiquette. Out of my element, way too intelligent. Grab you a therapist, send him my sentiments. Neck full of sediments, caught me a Tesla and skirt through the valley. Dropped an investment in Silicon Valley. All of this cake, but I'm missing the patty. Might mess around and just move to Miami. Drums are so loud that they break in the chassis. King of the grass like a Lionel Messi. I am not crass, but my mental is messy. Mud in my glass while my pencil is sketching. All these rappers, but no one impressed me. Most of them actors that labels as testing.
How about the range? Whoa. Hey, yeah, I'm feeling strange. Whoa.
How about the range? I'm feeling strange. I might be crazy. None of y'all phase me. I took a sip, I'm not acting my age. I took a trip, now they got me on stage. Hop out the range. Hop out the range. Whoa. Hop out the range. I'm feeling strange. I might be crazy. None of your phase me. Hop out the range. Whoa. Yeah, I'm feeling strange. Whoa.
Normal.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing. Testicles. Welcome everyone to episode 3290 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular Swolecast, Beardcast, Broadcast, Gamecast, Mancast, Pimpcast, Sleevescast, and Slaycast in the realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. What's going on, beaches, booshes, bustas, hustles, and yo-hos? It's your boy Papa Swole back with another episode. Today's episode of the Beastcast is brought to you as powered, is sponsored by Everson K2, flexing on all you beaches. Thanks for being here today. Hashtag Get Swole. We have an overtime segment. We're going to have a shorter show today and then hop on over into the Daily Swole Telegram chat for an overtime segment. We got a brand new driving while gaining. It's going to be a great time, so don't miss out on that. Let's get on into that tip and those Swole fan posts. Babe, just an inch. It's cold outside. Jumping right in. Okay, let's get into a couple community questions. We got this one from Abby. We're going to kick it off.
What's in the box?
We talked a lot yesterday. I think we covered one of her posts yesterday. I think she was on the live stream, so let's bring it up on the screen. Abby says, hello, just found the Swole fam and planning to start Maximum Swole on Monday. Don't hate me for this question. Is this a good option to not get big? I am 5'2" and had my fourth baby in December, so definitely trying to trim down and rebuild my strength. I have been strength training with heavy weights for a while, usually around 8 reps for 3 sets per exercise before the baby. The last baby, and resumed strength training in February-ish after a good amount of core rehab. Thanks for any input on the program selection. So let me just pause here. So I'm glad you're getting into the lifting again and X, Y, and Z, and you're already training, and glad you joined the Swole fam. Is it a good option to not get big? That doesn't make any sense. You're not going to get stronger without building muscle, period. You're not just going to get stronger and not put on muscle. That's not how it works. There's neuromuscular coordination, there's motor unit recruitment, but if you want to get bigger, you need to get stronger. So rebuild your strength. You don't want to get big. You want to put on muscle, Abby. Like, getting big is going to be if you're eating a calorie surplus and getting fat. You want to strength train, you want to lift, you want to get stronger, you're going to build muscle, you're not going to get big. So any ladies, any women, any of you that think you're just going to lift weights and get big, even just when you put on muscle, that's not the case. That's going to come down to your other nutrition, your body fat, all that. So Maximum Swole is great, especially for lifting heavy. You're not going to be doing 3 sets per exercise, that's for sure, but you'll be training anywhere between the 4 and 8 rep range. But you want to put on muscle, you want to build muscle. You're not going to get big unless you're eating like a cow. All right. Good question. Common question, but the trend of women, like, I don't want to lift, I don't want to get big. It's like, why are these not loading up properly? You're not going to get, let me close that out and do it again. You're not going to get big. Like, you have to try to get big. You have to really train hard, and it takes a long time to put on muscle. So anytime you hear someone like, I'm afraid I don't want to get too big, well, then just don't be fat while you're doing it. You put on muscle and you stay leaner, then you're not going to get fat. You're going to have definition. You're going to look the way you want to. It's a mindset that's set up to fail. If you're trying to lift and not get big, then all you're doing is you're not making progress. You're going to the gym, you're lifting weights and trying not to make progress, which doesn't make any sense. Then you're just doing stuff for no reason. You're just wasting your time. May as well just go for a walk. Okay. Let's get this one from Deba.
What's in the box?
Hi everyone, I'm Deba, just joined today, looking forward to making some gains. Oh, by the way, I'm Cerny's twin sister. Y'all ready for it? There's two of them.
Emotional damage.
They spawned. There's another Cerny. Impossible. Impossible. I commented on this in the app and I was like, dear Lord, there's more than one. I don't know. I don't know what to say about this. Welcome to the Swoll fam. I'm hesitantly welcoming you to the Swoll fam. Can this be verified? Is this actually your twin sister? Or is this just, it looks like with the laughing emoji that it's kind of like your best friend. Is there actually a relation? This was a jump scare for me, to be honest. Saw this, I was like, oh boy, there's more. Good God, there's more than one. They're multiplying. That's awesome. Welcome to the fam, Deba. Leslie says it's windy and rainy this morning, so I brought a towel and had free AC while working out on the front porch gym. Nothing like breaking a sweat to Mother Nature and Creed. Ooh, Creed in the house. I was listening to some Creed yesterday. So get up and go to the fucking gym. No excuses. Execute more all alone at 3 a.m. Woo! My goodness. Good Lord. 3 a.m. gains. And we have one here from Paul. And Paul says, new here. Have worked out in the past, but I've let myself go over the years looking to get back in shape and live a healthy lifestyle to be able to enjoy time with the kids as long as possible. That's what I'm talking about. Welcome, everyone. Super stoked to have you. Let's see. Paul, Deba, and of course, Abby at the beginning. So let's lift some heavy weights. Let's make some gains. Let's train to get swole. And of course, you're only going to put on weight and look like a freaking bodybuilder if you're eating a ton, if you're taking anabolic steroids. You're not going to get jacked. You're not going to get jacked like by accident. That's one thing that will never happen. You're not just going to put on muscle. Whenever a woman says that, like, I lifted, my arms got big, it's like, that's called fat and skin. You just didn't change your eating. You didn't get big. You just got inflamed or swollen and you didn't change your nutrition. No one's getting just jacked by accident. So don't have a sleeper build, make gains. You don't want to have a sleeper build. You want to look like you lift. I never understood the sleeper build. Who wants to look skinny? And then when I flex, I look muscular. That's ridiculous. I'd rather look the opposite. When I flex, I look tiny, but when I'm standing there, I look jacked. That's even better. Because how often are you walking around flexing? You never are. You want to look big. You want to look big. You want to be strong. You want to be functional and strong, and you want to be healthy. But yeah, you don't want to just look big. No sleeper build. No sleeper build. Okay, let's get into some questions. We'll take them from Instagram stories. We're not going to load up TikTok or anything today. So drop your questions or your comments or your topics in the comments down below. So even if you don't have a question, you can still, or something, a topic you want to discuss or something you want me to be aware of, drop it in the comments, or follow up if I read your post and you have a little something else you want to add, drop that in the comments. Let's take this one. I think we got a couple cheesy ones.
What's in the
Shocker.
box?
From Instagram stories. Brewed in the mill. What are some exercise to kill belly fat? You're going to get a
Matt Damon.
To kill belly fat. I'd recommend not killing any part of your body. Like, don't amputate, don't kill, don't slaughter anything. Eating better, lifting heavy weights. I mean, come on. Boring question. What are some exercises to get rid of belly fat? Come on, dude. Come on now. Will, are all fruits good for you, or are there fruits you avoid or don't eat in general? I eat the fruits that I like. It's better to get in-season fruits. Some fruits are going to be, some fruit might bother some of you. Different foods are fruits. Tomatoes are a fruit. Avocados are a fruit. Some people have issues with tomatoes. Some people don't. Different tomatoes are, not all tomatoes are created equal. You can remove the seeds and the skin if you have issues. You can pressure cook them. You can try different things. I mean, it's a nightshade. So anyway, I mean, I love fruit. Fruit's fantastic. So, I mean, are all fruits good for you? I think if you get fresh, ripe fruit in conjunction with quality protein and fat and heavy lifting and sunlight and sleep and everything else, you shouldn't have a problem with fruit. So you're gonna have to see what works best for you. But fruit's delicious. I love fruit. And a lot of people that have insulin issues and stuff like that with their blood sugar, like, I've been eating a lot of fruit, I'm just pounding sugar. You need to have everything else in order. You shouldn't just be pounding fruit and not getting enough protein. You should be lifting heavy weights. You should be moderating or being mindful of what you consume. And in my recommendation, eat fruit earlier in the day. All right. GTZJ Social. Besides genetics, how do you keep those sweet locks healthy? Well, I use things like, a lot of you know, drum roll, scalp seed, main gains, collagen, protein, quality sleep, all those things. So that's how I keep the locks healthy. Brushing through quality ingredients and essential oils and things that are good for the roots and good for the hair. That way it doesn't get frizzy. It stays nice and strong. But of course, your hair, skin, and nails come from your nutrition also. So make sure you're eating quality foods, a lot of protein. Bone broth is fantastic. Collagen's fantastic. So all those things are very important for hair, skin, and nails. And then, of course, once the hair removes or comes out of your head, moisturizing it and adding these things like scalp seed and main gains and these types of products and the things that we're launching probably this coming week, that's going to keep the actual locks, the actual hair strong and less likely to break, less likely to be fly away, frizzy, and look full and healthy. So it starts inside the body. It starts with your nutrition. Always starts with the nutrition. St. Louis Trash Man, Papa Swoll. All I have is a 35-pound kettlebell. I'm a beginner. Should I use to failure on all my sets? The questions like this are just, I don't know what to say to this because all I have is a 35-pound kettlebell. Well, get something else. Get a gym membership. If you sell your 35-pound kettlebell, you could probably get a month at a gym. Just saying, you need to either get more stuff or you need to go to a gym facility and get a membership at Planet Fitness or any kind of local gym or something like that. So you have access to all these pieces of equipment. A 35-pound kettlebell is good for certain things and not good for others. Should you use to failure on all your sets? Sets of what? Kettlebell stuff? You shouldn't be training to failure with kettlebells. You're doing high reps. I don't know what you're doing with the kettlebell. You could do a bunch of different things. So a question like this is hey, I have a dumbbell. It's okay, pick it up and put it down. You could do a couple different things, but you're going to be limited. Certain exercise can be too light, some too heavy, and some you're not going to be able to do with it. So there's really nothing to respond to this. Are you trying to build muscle? Then you need more weight. You need to be able to increase the weight. You need to be able to increase the overload. So a 35-pound kettlebell is great. You could do a lot of stuff with kettlebells. But don't do kettlebell training to failure. That's ridiculous in itself. Kettlebell is all about technique. Kara is asking, do looks or personality matter? In what context? In what context? For a guy looking for a woman or vice versa? Do looks or personality matter? I think they both matter. It depends on what you're discussing. Personality definitely matters because if you're friends with someone, I think looks matter even for friendship and stuff like that. Generally, if you see someone who's like a cave troll on the side of the road, you're not gonna be like, I don't want to be friends with that person. Who knows? But most people, in terms of looks, you don't have to be a fitness model or someone that looks like they're going to be on a modeling runway or something like that. Most people are going to be, it's all subjective for looks. So most people are going to be generally average. A lot of your friends, you might not think of them as super hot or ugly, just like they're your friends because of their personality and things that you have in common. So when it comes to a friendship, personality obviously is extremely important. If it's someone that you're going to be romantically involved with, then obviously looks usually get you in the door. But there are certain situations where maybe personality kind of, kicks off or things you have in common is more of a spark. Maybe you're at work and you met someone and it's someone you wouldn't normally have talked to, but because you spent a lot of time in close quarters at your job or career or whatever, then you just kind of get to like them and you have a lot in common, and some things are more important to certain people than others. But whether it's a, male, female, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife type situation, obviously personality matters, looks fade. But in terms of a friendship, looks are less important, but sometimes looks will get you that initial eye contact or something. You're checking the person out, like, ooh, that person looks attractive. I'm attracted to them. I like their hair and their eyes, like they're beautiful. And then you go and talk to them and they have a good personality too, and jackpot, that kind of thing. So you should have a good personality, because once someone gets to know you, why are they sticking around? And a lot of really attractive people are just airheads. There's nothing to add. There's nothing to say. They're just drones. They kind of do what everyone else says and thinks, and they've always gotten approval. So, I mean, that can be a negative to a personality. If someone's really attractive, you have a really beautiful woman, and she's always just heard yes her entire life. No one's ever said no. All guys are always, all over her, and everyone's always fawning over her. Then that can go to someone's head, and it can really change their personality over time and kind of mold them to someone who is just, not as developed as an individual, as a person. So just because someone's attractive physically doesn't mean that they actually have a personality to, to keep the boat afloat, kind of thing. That's kind of like the same way of discussing motivation gets you started, but discipline keeps you going. Hate that thing. Motivation gets you started. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. You just think it does. That's why you don't continue, because your motivation sucks. All right. Marcelo Ortelli. Ortelli? Marcelo E. Ortelli? Marcel o Ortelli? Marcelo Ortelli? Marcelo E. Ortelli. I don't know what this name is. Can't figure it out. Papa Swolio, do you think you can gain muscle mass after age 40 without additional supplements? Oof. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but once you hit 40, it's like a guillotine. The wall comes down. It just slides down and you're done. You're done. It's just like a trash compactor. After you're 40, you may as well phone it in. So we are canceling everyone's membership to Swolenormous X if you're over 40. So once you hit 40, when you sign up, you have to put your age in, and when you get to 40, we cancel your membership. So I'm sorry, bro. You aged out. It's over, bud. It's over, bud. You're an old man. Look, I'm going to be 42 in a couple months, and I'm making gains. So not only do I think you can gain muscle mass, I know you can. And again, what it really comes down to, for me at my point, I wouldn't say, I don't have an ego in the sense of like, I'm not going to sit here and say I've hit my natural limit. Because as much as I think there is a natural limit, I think it's very, very hard, if not impossible, to actually hit that natural limit, because you don't know what that limit is. It's not like you have a little buzzer that goes off like, hey, you can't build your biceps any bigger unless you take anabolic steroids. So there's really no such thing as a natural limit. It's just a general concept as you're going to build most of your muscle. You're going to build most of your muscle in the earlier parts of your training. But then, of course, over time, you can shape those muscles and slowly develop over time. Because I had muscle mass, let's say 5 years into lifting, like I was big. I had a lot of muscle, but I didn't have the same shape and the definition and the muscle maturity, and I wasn't training as well as I could have been. So I weigh more with the muscle mass and the body fat percentage. I'm currently weighing more than I ever have in my entire life. In the past, when I was this weight, I was too fat when I was first bulking back in the day. And then I realized that, and I cut down, I got my nutrition better, more in order. So you can still make a lot of progress, and I'm still making progress and strength progress, and I feel fantastic. But there is a point where you're just not going to. So my point in saying this, I'm not going to say that I hit my natural limit, but I'm kind of around there because it's really in combination with my natural limit with how much effort I'm willing to put in, because I'm not willing to sit there and weigh and measure every last thing and micro track every last thing in my life. Yeah, I track my training and this, that, and the other, but I want it to flow with my lifestyle. So if I restricted myself or really overstressed myself, could I gain like an ounce of muscle? In other words, the reward for the extra effort to put in to make marginal progress is not worth it. So I'm simplifying things. I've simplified things in my life, and I've made a lot more progress as I've gotten older, especially erring more towards recovery and focusing on less volume and being really specific and intentful with my training. So I don't care about micromanaging. I'm not stepping up on a bodybuilding stage. I'm not obsessed with my body fat percentage. I don't care if I could see every single ab every single day, or, you know, I have nothing to compare it to in terms of I'm not getting up on stage and trying to win a trophy for no reason. Like I really don't see the purpose in it. I don't like doing that. I don't need someone else to tell me like, you look good, you look like this. I do it for myself. So I know you can gain muscle mass. My point in saying that is, for me, since I've been training hard for decades, it's much harder for me to build muscle than someone who, let's say maybe Marcelo has not really trained, you know, hasn't really trained, hasn't really taken it seriously, which I would assume, because if you're asking me this question, then you're not really putting in solid effort, in my opinion, because you would know that if you are. You probably have more muscle to gain. You could definitely, Marcelo's definitely able to build a lot more muscle just because you're asking this question. But for me, it's going to be more marginal with the effort. So for me, at my point, I'm going to have to put in a lot more effort for that small little bit of progress. And that's why a lot of people quit, or they back off, or they take their foot off the gas, because as you get more experienced, as you've put yourself under more load, as your body has been exposed to all these, you know, the stimuli and adapted over time, you have to be much more specific and intentful with your training in order to make those little micro improvements. You know, getting another rep is a huge win. Getting like another pound on the bar and doing the same number of reps is a huge win once you get to the point where you're really just kind of like, my progress looks more like a plateau. It really does. My progress looks like a plateau, but if you get really close on the graph, if you were to graph it, you'd see like little bumps. Like it's going up, but when you zoom out, it looks more flat because I'm not just making leaps and bounds and just putting on 5 pounds every other month. And it's not happening like that. Now, if I took anabolic steroids, yeah, it would take me past my natural limit because I'm no longer natural. I'm adding in exogenous hormones if that was the case. So you can definitely gain muscle mass, but it really depends on what you've been doing up to 40. If you've been training hard and really into it and all out until 40, yeah, you can still gain muscle mass. It's just much harder because you've had all those years of building and you're more close to your natural limit. So, you know, but I'm very tired of these. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm tired of it, but it's really unfortunate that people are acting like 40 years old, you're done. Jeez, like not even close, man. I feel fucking great. I feel great. I'm going to be May, June, in like 3 months, I'll be 42. And I'm training today and my strength is going up. Like I look at numbers and sometimes you don't realize how much strength you've gained and muscle you've gained until I look back on some of these logs. And I look back and I'm like, I was doing this machine. And I remember when the 4 plates or 4 and a 25 was heavy. And I look at the weight I'm doing now, I'm doing 5 and a quarter. I'm building muscle. I'm getting stronger. I'm making that progress. It's just relentless consistency, day in and day out, doing the things, and then really striving for those little incremental, little bits of improvement. And if you make those incremental, little tiny microscopic bits of improvement every week or two, when you look back over a year, you're going to make some solid progress. It's just much slower than when you first start. Mark says, I think the problem is, especially with the rise of social media, people just work out for the clout, essentially. They're not doing it for their betterment. Well, sure, they're trying to be influencers. And you see this with kids that or anyone, right? They start and they build a little physique because they're skinny and they put on like 10 pounds of muscle. So they think they're a fitness expert. And then they have all these supplements and, hey, use my code, save 10% if you use Luke 10 at checkout. Everyone just wants to sling a product and become an influencer. And most of these people have no idea what they're talking about. And not only that, most of them just don't have the experience. You want someone who's actually been through it, not someone who's currently doing it. They're probably doing the wrong thing, or they have they have no authority to speak on because they haven't actually gone through it. They're currently learning themselves. So just got to be careful. Just got to be careful who you pay attention to, right? You don't want to get business advice from someone who has failed businesses. If they've never had a successful business, don't take advice from them. Now, if someone has 9 failed businesses, but then they have one that's exploded, that's also what perseverance is. Sometimes you fail 9 times and then you only need to be successful once. So then you have a successful multi-million-dollar whatever business. Then you can get really good advice from that person because they can tell you, hey, these things didn't work. I thought they were going to. They didn't. What actually worked was this. Or those things were working, but the product sucked, and that's why the other 9 didn't work. And I used the same principles, and I got a better product, and then the 10th one worked. Or you learn about, so like there's like that saying that you never lose. If you win, you win. If you lose, you learn. I mean, if you lose, but you learn those lessons so you avoid it again. And a lot of times what happens with people in fitness is they keep on making the same mistakes and wondering why they're not making progress because they're trying to do some one-off diet. They're trying to do some pre-made plan. And this is why we have, in terms of Swolenormous X, we have all these programs inside the app and everything, but you're able to customize them. We have people asking like, hey, can I swap out this exercise? Can I lift heavy while I'm doing primer week? And yeah, there's a lot of, everything is okay. Everything is on the table. You can do whatever you want. There just might be certain principles that you are not aware of. Like we talked about yesterday, I think it was Abby or someone else. She was like, I want to lift heavy, and I did this. I lifted heavy here, and then I did primer week, and I did total body awareness with less reps or this, that, and the other. I mean, there's certain purposes for certain things. So it's not all about just getting stronger and lifting heavy. There's a certain purpose for different programs and different approaches. And as long as you know what you're doing and why you're doing it, that's what's important. A lot of people don't. They're just going to the gym and doing exercise. And if they sweat and they feel good, then they think they did a good job. And that's the problem. So you go to the gym because you want to have fun and you want to feel like you trained hard and you want to feel good. Okay, I understand. People like to feel good, right? Who doesn't like to feel good? But then you expect that you need to feel good. And then you go to the gym and you don't feel that great. So you like skip it, or you don't try hard because you don't feel like it. And oh, I didn't feel like it, or oh, they weren't playing good music, or I skipped that class. I hate that instructor. Because you're going there looking for fun, or you're looking for something to be enjoyable. And there's a lot of times when I go and train and I don't really feel like it, but I know the difference between, in my head, it's like, I gotta do it. And I know the difference between that and my body is fatigued. I need a day off. I know the difference. So on the days, shocker, the days where I'm kind of like, all right, I gotta do it. It's like, I don't really feel like it, but let's get it done. I'll have a great workout. My strength will go up. So it's getting out of your head. You're actually getting stronger. You're making progress. You're doing great. Your head isn't always accurate. So you have to really understand the difference. And you're not going to have fun. You can enjoy it, but enjoy the process. Enjoy the process of getting results. I don't care about the entertainment value. I want the results. And if I get the results, I'll tell you what, I'm going to fucking like it because that's why I'm doing it. Loretta says, I see 40-year-olds that look so miserable and tired. I can't believe I'm almost 64. I feel great. I don't feel old and tired. Good for you. Ellie says, I love telling people I'm 47 because they don't believe it because my lifestyle choices aren't turning me into a crippled raisin. Based. A crippled raisin. I like that one. A crippled raisin. That's so descriptive. That's so descriptive. All right, Gustavo, Papa Swole, my fiance is doing great going to the gym. I'm proud of her. She needs more training. We were thinking a trainer, but how about your app? Does it have woman training? Yeah, we have all of our programs are for men and for women. So like we have a lot of women inside the Swole fam. A lot of them Like, what programs are you guys currently doing? A lot of people start with the 90-day dash. Maximum Swole is great. Everything's customizable. We have everything you need for your nutrition. So I would definitely recommend it. I would definitely recommend it. Now, if you have a trainer, of course, now and I'm not knocking trainers because I used to do personal training, but not all trainers know what they're talking about. In fact, few do. And of course, it's more expensive to have a trainer. You're going to spend $40, $50, $60 to $100 a session, and you might not be doing what you should be doing. A lot of training is repetitive. I don't want to say it's boring because I don't find it boring, but it's the same thing over and over again. One of the problems, one of the pitfalls I see with training is that a lot of times the trainer, and you see trainers doing this all the time, it's a problem. They just do a lot of novelty things. They're busting out like the Bosu balls and all these like little weird things that are kind of gimmicks in order to psychologically challenge people and just do difficult things rather than the fundamental things that are going to build muscle and get the most results, which are not fancy, which are repetitious, which are going to be the same thing over and over again. And sure, you need to learn how to do proper form. So if you're going to hire someone, you want to make sure that that person knows proper form and they understand the principles of muscle building, and they're not just going to do like tons of cardio gimmicks just to leave you sweaty and feeling like you had a good workout rather than actually what it takes to get you maximum results. So that's a problem that I see with a lot of training and group exercise. There's a lot of circuit training. It's a lot of lifting for cardio, and it's a lot of short-term gratification in the sense that people are paying for a trainer, and in order for someone to feel that they got something out of the session, they have to feel it in the moment. They have to feel exhausted. Wow, that was a hard workout. Wow, that was great. I had a great time. Like, wow, that was exhausting. Whew, I'm sweaty. Yeah, but I did it. Cool. You might feel like you did something and you accomplished and you finished the task that the trainer had set out for you. But is that actually what's building you muscle? You could do a lot of complicated things that are more gimmicky that don't actually get you results. And unfortunately, a lot of times trainers have to do that in order to keep a client, to keep them engaged, to try to stimulate that excitement or that novelty. But getting results and building muscle isn't about novelty. It's actually the opposite. It's about doing the same thing over and over again and then slightly bumping up the weight and slightly adding a rep and then slightly tweaking something. So it should be the same thing over and over again. Otherwise, you're not going to be adapting if it's random stuff all the time. So you have to make sure that if you're hiring a trainer, they need to know what they're doing. But then, of course, you need to know what you're doing in terms of hiring a trainer. You need to know about these things. I just know that from being in the industry and just seeing it. And I understand the psychology behind someone who's a trainer that's trying to get clients and keep clients and maintain a book and stuff like that. So I'm not saying it's bad. There are good trainers out there, but there's always incentives. And it's very psychological too. And personally, I think if you have a trainer, and I'm not knocking trainers again, but I really think people should be doing this stuff on their own. I'm not against personal trainers. Of course, if you're a good if you suck, you suck. Like, I'm not against doctors when most doctors suck. I'm not against personal trainers when most personal trainers suck. I just want to make sure that people understand that you should be self-driven when it comes to fitness. You should be in control. It shouldn't be like, hey, I have to schedule with my trainer, and then you don't know what to do unless someone tells you what to do. It's like following a diet. Oh, only eat these things. Okay. Without understanding why you're making these food choices, why you're not eating this, why you're avoiding this. Because then if you're on a meal plan, you can only eat these things. You go somewhere and there's food and you have no idea why you should be eating this or not eating that. And you make bad decisions because there's actually no education and no responsibility as to what you're doing. You don't know why you're doing what you're doing. So really understanding and be able to self-drive and build that discipline to go and do the work and do what you need to do. You take responsibility, and that's where you get that satisfaction. If you just go somewhere and someone tells me what to do and you leave, are they really your gains? I'm telling you, are those gains really yours? I know you put in the physical work, but you don't really understand what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know why you're doing it. And if you don't know what you're doing and why you're doing it, you're just following someone's directions, then you're going to follow what anyone says. You're less likely to stick to it. And then you're just jumping from thing to thing. So you really have to stick to a plan, but also understand why you're doing it. That way you can actually maintain it. And you're not responsible. You're not depending on anyone to drive you forward. A lot of times personal training is just glorified spotting and picking up weights and handing you things. And I think people need to learn how to do these things themselves. And of course, when you have a coach, let's say you're a professional, like if I got a coach or I had a trainer or someone that was pushing me and spotting, you know, that's different. Like if you're at a certain level and you're trying to get to that next level, you're competing and stepping on stage, there could be a great argument for having that. So I'm not saying trainers are bad. I'm not saying you shouldn't hire one. I'm not saying that you shouldn't even do it. But just keep in mind that a trainer isn't a trainer isn't a trainer. It's like saying, oh, go to the doctor, as if all doctors know what they're talking about or if any do. You know, so same thing with trainers. Like, oh, I'm going to get a trainer. They're not all the same. They're not all the same. Trust me, there's not a lot of good ones. And there's a very low bar to become a trainer. So it doesn't matter if you have a ton of certifications. A lot of trainers will be like, hey, I have all these certifications. Cool. They might still not know what they're talking about. The same reason why a doctor might have all these certifications. And I'm a doctor. I've been a doctor for 30 years. And they don't know their ass from their fucking elbow about nutrition or exercise or anything. So it's like, what are we talking about here? Kara Alexis, what's the one thing everyone looks ridiculous doing?
Boom shakalaka!
Let me show you my O face. Oh. That's a good question. What's one thing everyone looks ridiculous doing? Burpees? Jesse, Papa Swole, thinking of changing splits. Last chance for questions. Then we're about to wrap up and go into OT. Oh, we're going to be late. We got to hustle. We're going to have to end this show early. Thinking of changing splits. Right now doing bicep, forearms, tricep/chest. I hate it when people write tri/chest and try, not tri/chest. Back/shoulder, legs, ideas. I feel like we answered this question before. Upper, lower. You're doing 3 upper body days and 1 leg day. Biceps and forearms on a separate day, that's retarded. Do upper, lower. Do upper, lower. At least do push, pull legs, but do upper, lower. Do upper, lower. Yeah, you don't need that. You're protracting your split too much. If you want to prioritize biceps or forearms, just do them. Do forearms before leg day or after leg day or something like that, and do your biceps before back or before chest, right? If you start off with chest, you could do curls first and then do your chest. Like, you just got to prioritize. All right, balls deep. That's deep. Yeah, we got to dry well gaining, so I want to make sure we got to wrap up. We'll do 1 video, and then we're going to go into overtime. So let me make sure that it's streaming. You can head on into the Daily Swoll Telegram chat. Hopefully we have enough time for... We might barely have enough time for it. Like, we got to be doing that now, actually. So, all right, just load up the stream so it's in the Daily Swoll Telegram chat. Let's do 1. This one's called Funny Roast. We'll do 1, and then we'll get rid of the Swoll card, and then we'll get into overtime. Here we go. Funny Roast.
What's in the box?
Funny Roast.
Down its way to my For You page, and I really don't know how to feel about it.
Bitches get bored and love picking up the fucking fork. How about you pick up your fucking feet instead when you're bored?
Consume so many croissants at this point that you're starting to take the shape of one, and summer's right around the fucking corner. So if you don't want to look like a busted can of fucking biscuits whenever you put on that swimsuit, now would be the perfect time to stop your bad habits. Let's get your fat fucking ass in shape, okay? Your friends may tell you that you're perfect the way you are, but if you were to ask me, I'd say you look like the Thing from the Fantastic fucking Four. What the fuck do you mean dieting is hard? Being fat is harder. Fuck. Focus, you fat. So, you are as wide as a fucking football field. It doesn't matter how you feel. You need to go to the gym.
Somebody said you are the size that you eat, and when I heard this, I was drinking a large Coca-Cola, so that they do not play. Like, these comments are ruthless. Eat small, be small, eat big, be big.
You looking in this mirror and seeing Pumbaa from Lion King should completely cancel out, null and void, any feeling that you think you feel.
You guys like skinny talk? Are you on skinny talk? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments.
Skinny talk? Skinny talk? Are you guys on skinny talk? Ugh, all these people can go fuck off.
Go fuck yourself.
Skinny talk? Yeah, stop being a fat ass and go to the fucking gym. Yeah, I agree with everything he said. You're on skinny talk? I'm on skinny talk. Yeah, stop being a pussy. Go to the fucking gym. Stop being a chode. All right. That's a good start. That's a good start because, fam, we have an amazing overtime segment coming up right now. I don't want to waste any time because I want to make sure we get into it because we have a brand new driving while gaining and brand new balls deep edits, and we have not a moment to lose. So let's do this. Head on over to the Daily Swole Telegram chat. Let's give away today's Swole card. It is hashtag #GetSwole, and we will get into that overtime segment for members. If you want to join the fam, head on over to swolenormousx.com because you can catch all the previous overtime segments and the drive while gainings and balls deep edits. So we're about to kick off. So after we give this away, we're starting in the Daily Swole OT right away. Hashtag #GetSwole for a chance to win today's Swole card. Let's give it away now. Come on, Falcon. Give away this juicy Swole card. It's a great day to make some gains, fam. Here we go. Today's winner is Robert Ware. Congratulations. Roberto.
Hi, puppy.
Roberto, send us an email to support@swolenormous.com. Swole card 3290 in the subject, your mailing address in the body of the email. Congratulations. Thank you so much for playing. Thanks for being here. Congratulations, Robert. And fam, right now, we are heading into OTZ My Kneesies. You know the dilly yo-yo. So we start overtime right now. And we got balls deep edits, brand new, never before seen. And we also have a throwback DWG and a brand new driving while gaining. Join the fam over at swolenormousx.com. And of course, get your notretarded.com merch. The Pumpachu, we got Jurassic Pump, we got they do lift in herds. We got a bunch of new designs over there at papaswolio.com. Buy one, get one 50% off. And of course, I've been talking about all the new drops for main gains. We got Scalp Seed, we have Papa Solio's Bull Cream, 3 new amazing products that are going to be dropping imminently. So I already made that preview announcement. It's dropping sooner than you realize, so get ready for that. We'll talk about it in the next day or two. Very excited, and let's get into that overtime right now. Starts in, I don't know, 1 minute, 2 minutes, starts right now. Let's go. Peace, McGeese, Deuce, Magoose, your boy, Papa Swolio. Oh. Out. Overtime.
I just wanna win on the low, like